Any dog that has an issue with recall almost always has an issue with lead walking. Almost always. Look at her, look. So again, I'm going to put the pressure on this lead now. Really, I'm pulling on that. I'm pulling on that now. Couldn't care less, look. Heel. Hello. Hello. Just to say, the recall's got value there. Perfect example, live example. Picking up an old piece of pheasant wing and chewing away on it, and to be able to call her back and take it from her. You know, it's not just about calling the dog off doing things, it's about calling the dog back to you when they've got prized possessions, valuable resources. That could be anything, couldn't it? You know, there's plenty of people whose dogs have got themselves into a problem by ingesting things that are bad for their health. So to be able to call them back, most people are, I think in an earlier clip that I put on, I talked about how having the whistle in your mouth allows you to use the recall, where a lot of people would say, no, leave it, that sort of thing. Whereas the recall is a doing action, and it gives you the opportunity to build it into so many things when that whistle sits in your mouth. There she goes. Straight back here, please. Good girl. Here. Good girl. Heel. Right. Massively aroused. So the heel position doesn't come immediately into where it needs to be, which isn't good enough. I'll make sure that happens. But at the moment, there's no tools being used or anything. All I've got is my whistle and myself. That's it. You can see how much is switching on here, look. This is much more like the dog. Again, I want it back. Good girl. Heel. Heel. Good girl. Right. Again, 2 commands. Not good enough, but it achieved the aim. A lot of people would settle for that. Don't. I wouldn't. So what I want to show, we're in, as you can see, very, very prey-rich environment. Pheasants absolutely everywhere, and Christ knows what else lives in this wood. I want to be able to recall her back in. I'm going to give her a command of weight, and I'm going to slip the slip lead over her. And what I want you to see is the effect of putting the slip lead on her, what effect that slip lead has, and it should be to put her straight into a heel position. So first of all, she's gone too far. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Wait. Now when the slip goes on, without any commands, we'll walk. That's the purpose of teaching a dog a behaviour that's directly linked to a stimulus, to a tool. In this case, the slip lead. I shouldn't need to keep whacking on that slip lead, sharp corrections on it. I shouldn't need to be giving her commands. The lead itself should become the signal to her that a particular behaviour is required. And we'll repeat the same thing again, all right? So the lead's going to come off. I'll give her a 3. Good girl, 3. I'll recall her in, tell her to wait, put the slip lead on, I want her to adopt the heel position. That lead can't go tight. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Wait. Now I'm going to walk very, very slowly with her over this bridge. And then I'm going to stop here. This is a dog that's understanding not only the position, but more important to that is the link between that tool and the required behaviour. Hopefully that makes sense. It's pretty straightforward. The tool becomes the signal for the behaviour that's required. Just the same as this means come back, this means walk nicely. Just to say, if you put a slip lead on your dog and your dog is constantly rasping or pulling, just keep your camera on her a minute as well, because I'm going to give a recall in a minute. The dog's constantly rasping, pulling, choking itself on it, or you're constantly correcting, then you've got a problem. Something isn't working. So again, like I've said previously, please seek out advice. It doesn't take much to just basically get hold of somebody and say, look, I've got this issue with my dog, I've been trying X, Y, Z. If you were to give me a shout on something like that, or a lot of trainers I know, they'd give you that advice for nothing and just say, well, try this instead. Let me just call her back in. Good girl. Good girl. I give you that advice for nothing, because basically at the end of the day, that dog needs to be able to understand. If you're constantly having to do something, you're constantly having to use corrections on the slip lead, they don't get it, and that's not good enough. There's a problem that needs fixing. The other thing that I just wanted the opportunity to do, and I did it again earlier in another clip, is to show the difference between, or not the difference between, but the similarity between a whistle and a verbal command, and how the two can achieve the same aim. So again, take you back to the first clips where I'm shouting behind the dog when she's on the end of a lead in front of me and she's completely ignoring everything. So I'm just going to let her tootle on a bit. Come here. And then I'll give her a verbal recall command. And I'll give that verbal command that I said. And here it comes. Meg, come! Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Here. Good girl. The difference, nowhere near as speedy, because it's not linked with all the whistle and reinforcement, which basically makes it even clearer that it isn't something that I've trained with her. But I just want to show how once you start to realise that you're significant with one sound, or in one context, in one, you know, in one sort of like aspect, i.e. the whistle, the lead work, things like that, then your voice and the tone of it and the way, you know, the way you project yourself in this case is, it's firm and it's meaningful. Come back. It's not a request. I said that before as well. It's an absolute command. It could save your life or the life of some other animal or some other motorist or whatever. You've got to do it. But you see that the dog will start to tune in a lot more to you when you get the training right, when your timing's good, when the reasoning for the responding is good, when it's relevant, when it's important to the dog. You start to take on a hell of a lot more meaning basically in their life. And another word, a different word this time. Let her go down, there we go. Back here! Good girl! Again, different word, doesn't matter. It's the way that it's being said, it's the fact that it's us, and it's what she is learning, what she's becoming conditioned to expect in respect of responding or not responding, and just how important that gels everything together. The lead work, which is what this video is about here really, is critical to that process. If you haven't got a dog that understands the concept of walking to heel and listen to you in heel position, you're really piddling in the wind if you think you're going to have a dog that's going to respond at distance when they're under distraction, you know, and it's a dog that's motivated to take that alternative distraction. So focus everything on that lead work, bring it right in, get everything right here, then extend it out, mix the two up, join the two together. Now take the lead off her, just quite calmly, and just say to her heel as you take it off, and just walk forward. Heel. Heel. Act as though she isn't there. Come to a stop, well done. Don't fuss her too much, remember, walk on. Come to a stop. And again, just turn away back the other way. Don't say anything to her. Come to a stop and pop the lead back over her. And just carry on walking. Just stop there. Calmly take the lead off her. Tell her to heel and walk. Straight past me.